With everyone's rookie season almost in the books, we're going to take a look back at the grades that I gave out for the first round in the 2020 NFL Draft, and I'm basically going to regrade them. But it's important. I'm not going to be reactionary when it comes to this. Keep in mind, this is everyone's rookie season. So not all of them are great, but they have maybe flashed parts here and there. Now, back when I did these grades, I went from anywhere from A+ to F, and I'm going to keep it a little bit more simple here. I'm going to give you my grading, how I'm going to go about it right here. So we're going to take a look what I graded then, and then I'm going to tell you what I would give a grade as of right now, how it would stand. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy BURROW. Just in case you did not know so, go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the video. Go ahead, comment on the video. That is very, very important. It really helps the video out a ton, and I really appreciate it. Maybe next week we'll go back and take a look at the draft class grades I gave to him, and we'll redo those as well. But let's go ahead. Let's dive into the pretty dang thing. Look at that. That's such a beautiful, beautiful overlay I had there. But yeah, Joe Burrow, I gave it an A+ at the time. I would remain with that. I'd say it was excellent. I think Burrow looks, at least he shows the signs of being the quarterback of the future in Cincinnati. So good pick by the Bengals. I don't disagree. So let's go ahead. Oh, bam. Went a little too far. But we're looking at the Washington football team. They weren't the Washington football team then, but they are the Washington football team now. Chase Young gave it an A+. I would say excellent as well. The guy is already blossoming as we watch. It wasn't nearly as dominant as like a Nick Bosa, but we did see periods where he was just utterly dominant. He was well worth the pick. And then the Lions, they go Jeffrey Okudah, out of Ohio State. I gave it an A+ at the time. I would probably say above average at this point, you know, so like a B+. Keep in mind, a lot of things went into this guy's rookie season. His first 2 games as a rookie came against Devontae Adams and DeAndre Hopkins, and then combine that with he battled a core, I think it was a muscle core injury for a bulk of the season. So it wasn't really a great start for him, but I think definitely with his just his traits and ball skills, length and all that he will end up working out very well for the Lions. Oh, I hit back. Whoops, excuse me. Here, I think it's just easier if I do this. All right, let's go. I gave it A+ to the Giants for Andrew Thomas, and I would go above average. Because I know the beginning of his rookie season was ugly. Like, it was bad, but he really, really started playing pretty well down the stretch. And while, yes, I think guys like Tristan Wirfs, Jedrick Wills, Mekhi Becton probably were more deserving of being the top tackle pick in this class, I don't think he's going to necessarily end up as a bad one for the Giants. And then we're going to go to the Dolphins, and I went ahead, I looked at their whole first round. So they drafted Tua, drafted Jackson. They got a 4th rounder for trading back a bit. Then they got Noah Igbinoghene. I gave it a B- at the time, and I would say, I want to say above average. It's average to above average. Tua, I think, was a fine pick. It was the pick they had to make. You know, he provided great value. He was one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the draft class, so I'm cool with that. But Austin Jackson, that kind of ruffled my feathers because I knew this guy was probably going to be a developmental prospect. I didn't like the idea of just throwing him out there to begin his career. I thought he needed some development. But, I mean, he showed in parts here and there. But still, they got a 4th rounder. I'm happy about that. Noah Igbinoghene, probably going to end up just being the slot on this team, which it's like, they could have got better value in the 1st round than just a slot guy. But you know what? For the most part, I think it was at least an average to maybe above average 1st round for the Dolphins. So not half bad, not half bad. And then we're gonna go. I think it's the Chargers next, right? Yep, Chargers. I gave them a C+, and you might be thinking it's because I was low on Herbert. And yes, I wasn't terribly low on Herbert. I liked the tools, I just questioned his ability to translate. But I still, even in this video, I say it's a great positional value pick. He's got the tools. I said I'd give that an A to A plus grade, but I didn't list it here. They gave up their second and third round pick to trade up for Kenneth Murray. There we go, the linebacker. And I even talked about how they were like Josh Jones just sitting there on the board, and now they're not going to pick till I think it was the 4th round. I didn't like it. That was probably the biggest thing that tanked their grade for me. And Murray, he's been so-so. I mean, he is what he is. You know, I don't think he's going to make splash plays in coverage. And he's decent enough around the line of scrimmage. He's got great athleticism. So, I mean, I guess it is what it is. But I think just because of Justin Herbert, just because I think they probably found their quarterback of the future, I'd bump this up to above average. What I think really hurts is probably the Kenneth Murray pick. They ain't losing a 2nd and 3rd rounder, man. Bill Belichick, man. He loves getting them draft picks. And then on to the next squad. We got the Carolina Panthers. I gave it a C for Derrick Brown. And I'm going to stick with average. Maybe a C+. You could maybe say B-. I mean, for a top 10 pick, they went out, they got a guy who I questioned as a pass rusher on the interior. And while he showed bits and pieces of success during his rookie season, he really only excelled in pass rush against just slow middling guards, interior players. I don't think it was nothing too impressive. He's going to be a phenomenal run stopper, but again, I mean, for what you're getting at a top 10 pick, I think it's just average at best. So yeah. And then the Arizona Cardinals, Isaiah Simmons, man. I gave it an A+ at the time. I loved the value. I loved them drafting for value. I loved what Simmons potentially could bring. We could tell the Cardinals, man, they had trouble at first, you know, trying to figure out what to do with Simmons. And they moved him a bit around the defense. And I think they really started using him correctly. You know, they used him like the chess piece he should be used as. I would give this an above average B+ grade as of right now. And I mean, again, that could go back to A+, man, just with one season. But as of now, I would say it's a B+. So above average. And Jacksonville Jaguars, I gave them a B. They grabbed CJ Henderson and Clavon Chaisson. I wasn't that high on the Chaisson pick. I thought he was a 2nd rounder at best, grabbing him there at like pick 18, 19. It was in that 20 range. But CJ Henderson, he definitely looks like he's going to be a fabulous corner once they really get talent on that defense. Chaisson, the jury's still out on this guy, man. Will he be a competent pass rusher at the next level? I'm not sure. I'm not positive, and I'm not sold on that. So as of now, I'd give it an average. So yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, they get a good, you could say above average. They get a good, really good corner in Henderson potentially. Let's go above average, man. B- might be the right grade here. So yeah, maybe I'll stick with that. And then Jedrick Wills, I gave an A. Only reason I didn't give it an A+ is because he never played left tackle before. And I was just like, they just brought in Coughlin, so they're going to have to make Wills left tackle. Hasn't played it before. I was a bit hesitant, but not enough to really knock down the grade. I still loved the pick. And I love him even more now, man. It looks like he looked a lot more comfortable on the left side than I expected him to. He could be a bit better as a run blocker, but which you'll be like, what? That team is great at running the ball. Yes, but he wasn't necessarily the he wasn't the best in terms of run blocking on that line, which is very good at run blocking. But again, man, that's just him getting used to having to play on that left side. You know, he was actually pretty good on inside zone runs. So it'll be interesting to see if they produce more of an outside zone game eventually. But we'll see. I say excellent pick. Job well done, Browns. Pat yourself on the back. I'm gonna get a little coffee real quick. New York Jets. I gave this a C+. Mekhi Becton, man. I didn't like it because I thought he was a projection. I thought this guy was going to need time to develop at the next level. And maybe I was wrong about that, but there is still a bit of concern when it comes to Becton because while, yes, he played extremely well, he did miss a couple of games this year due to injury. And you got to wonder, a guy with his size, will he be susceptible to being injury prone? He had a bit of that at Louisville. I don't think it'll necessarily be the case. I think the Jets got them a great, potentially great left tackle in Becton. And I would say this was an excellent pick. So big jump here. But I understand where I was coming from at the time. Because this was a guy, keep in mind, he was moved from the left to the right side, sometimes within the same series, man. They had a real funky way of doing things there at Louisville. And he couldn't really get used to playing on really any side until his final season there at Louisville, where they were like, all right, you're on the left solely. And still, he didn't have a lot of pass blocking snaps to his name just because they run a real gimmicky RPO scheme there. So, yeah, I understand where I was coming from, but it's an excellent pick now. And then we got not the Jets, the Raiders. Oh, I hated this, dude. And I'm going to still hate it now. I'm probably going to say this was a below average. Henry Ruggs, the only reason that saves a grade here for the Raiders. Damon Arnett, I thought was a terrible pick at the time. I thought they took a third rounder there in the middle of the first round. Horrible. And I'm going to stand by that right now because Arnett had a pretty rough rookie season. I feel real bad for him, but hey, man. Mike Mayock, dude. What you doing? I like Ruggs. It'll be interesting to see how they get Ruggs more involved next season, hopefully. But they really got a weapon that really does. You can't discount him, man. He's always gonna get guys. He's always gonna get, for the most part, spied or double teamed, where it's like they do not want Ruggs to tear the top off their defense. But also keep in mind they took Ruggs first ahead of guys like Judy and Lamb. And then in hindsight, I don't know if I like it as much, so I'm gonna give it a below average. And then we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hopefully I'm not missing anybody here. Nope, don't think so. I gave it an A-. I'd give it an A+ now. Let's say excellent. I didn't like that they gave up their 4th round pick to move up I think it was just one spot. But Tristan Wirfs might be the best tackle in this class when it's all said and done. He was at least the best tackle this season. He had a great rookie year. He was well worth it. I'm totally cool with this. Buccaneers, you did a good job. Then we got the San Francisco 49ers. So they got Javon Kinlaw. They got Brandon. Oh gosh. Why can I never say his last name? Ayuk. There we go. Brandon Ayuk. But they had lost a 4th. They lost a 5th. It was for them to move up, right? Hold on. Let me go back. Oh, I think it was supposed to say got a 4th. Okay, no, they moved back. But anyway, dude, getting Kinlaw, he didn't really flash his rookie season, but I thought it was solid enough. I think he will trend in the right direction. Again, this was a guy that I knew, he was still a bit raw at parts in his game, but he could really develop to be a very, very nice interior player. But our boy Brandon there, man, gosh, dude, he was just really good. He was everything Kyle Shanahan wanted and more. So I would say this is probably above average to excellent. Probably excellent. Let's go with excellent, man. I thought they did a good job here. And then we're going to go on to the Denver Broncos. They got Jerry Jeudy. I'm going to stick with an excellent. Dude is such a nasty route runner, man. He didn't really struggle with drops for most of the year, and unfortunately when they came in bulks. And unfortunately, Drew Lock's his quarterback, so often he would get missed. And when he, like, even when Lock was on, dude, that's like Jerry wasn't. Like Jeudy was, like, I think he had maybe like 3 drops in one game, you know, kind of like suffered from the Tyler Johnson syndrome, is what I was calling it at the time there, where everyone questioned Tyler Johnson's hands, but it was like the guy was very solid, and then he would go like 4 games without a drop, and then he'd have like 1 game with 4 of them, you know. But I think Judy's kind of in the same boat there. But I mean, the guy's a buttery route runner, man. He's going to be a really good receiver in the NFL. And I think we get the Atlanta Falcons. AJ Terrell, I said this was average. I said it was good value, but I had other corners ahead of him. I would say this is an above average based on his play. Terrell was definitely one of the better corners this season. Again, it's tough for rookie corners their first year in the league. You know, because keep in mind, man, NFL defense is a lot more complex than what they see in college. So I thought he did fairly well. So above average is the grade. I like Terrell going into the draft too. But I mean, I still had guys like Trevon Diggs and Christian Fulton ahead of him. And then the Cowboys, man. They got CeeDee Lamb so late. It's still excellent. They got themselves a guy that he can play on the outside if they want him to, but they played him almost exclusively in the slot, and he was amazing. Like, he would have had great numbers if Dak didn't go down. Unfortunately, that did happen, but and really it took like Andy Dalton like the last 3 games to really start utilizing him. So it is what it is, man. I really liked the Jalen Reagor pick at the time for the Eagles, and I still like it. I'm gonna say it's average, so we're gonna give it a C+. That Eagle offense just sucked all season, man. There were parts where I was like, man, that's the Reagor I've expected, and then just the injuries really hit him hard this season as well. Like, it just nothing in that Eagle offense was good. Nothing. So I expect Reagor to be hopefully better next season. And hopefully that Eagles offense, man, they get some sort of organization going, man, because it was chaotic this year. And then we have the Minnesota Vikings. I gave it an A+ at the time. We're going to stick with an excellent. I know Jeffrey Gladney, man, it kind of jury is still out on him. He might end up just being a really good slot guy, hopefully, at the very least, but he really got sauced at points this season. But Justin Jefferson, just next level, dude. I totally missed the mark when it came to Jefferson. And I'm going to put that on, you know, I think there's value in receivers having the ability to play on the outside, but I think last season I put too much value in that. Like, I knew Justin Jefferson, he had experience on the outside, but he was almost used exclusively his final season in the slot. And I really kept harping on that, you know, and I loved Jefferson. I couldn't have him. I couldn't put him at any more than a late first round pick, you know. My conscience won't let me. I still gave them an A+ because I like Jefferson. They got him at a good value. And you know what? Turns out he might be the best receiver in this class. So, yeah, excellent. Good job on the Vikings, man. Good job. New England Patriots, I gave them an A+ because they traded out of the first round. They got a sack. And keep in mind, they had I think it was a late first rounder. Maybe it was like the 23rd or something, pick like that. But they ended up grabbing a second round and a third round pick out of it. Excellent. Bill Belichick doing Bill Belichick things, man. Gotta love it. And then the New Orleans Saints, they went Cesar Ruiz. He kind of had a rough season there on the interior, kind of rotating between guard and center. I gave it an average grade at the time. I'm going to stick with an average grade. We'll see how he develops. Then the Green Bay Packers, I gave a D+ for Jordan Love. They were able to get a 4th round pick, trade down, and get their guy. But and I even said this, you're just gonna tick off Aaron Rodgers, and you know what? That might lead to a Super Bowl. And Jordan Love, honestly, this is kind of the right way to go about it. I mean, I had to keep in mind, I had the guy as a 3rd rounder, though. I think when it was all said and done, maybe I had a 2nd round grade on him, but I mean, they're going about the right way, dude. They're developing him behind one of the best quarterbacks of all time in Aaron Rodgers. So I don't hate the process so much. I think the jury's still out on this. I'm going to give it an average right now. So give it a C+ grade. And could quickly turn into an excellent grade, you know, if this guy ends up being a stud. And even if he's just a worthwhile starter, like just a solid maybe game manager that could just function and efficiently run the offense, that's still like a B grade, man. Still like a B grade. But so I'm gonna reel back a little bit on that. And we got I really went off. We got Seattle Seahawks, man. Jordyn Brooks. I gave it an F. I think I had a 3rd or 4th round grade on Brooks. They picked him. He was okay last year. I don't think he's gonna be that great in coverage. I'm gonna stick by that grade. I think it was poor. I think it was terrible value. And outside of one other guy, may have been the worst pick in the 1st round. And let's go to Patrick Queen, man. I gave it an A at the grade. I'll go above average, so maybe let's go B+. You definitely. There were parts this season where he was picked on. Like I said, man, for defenses at the next level in the NFL, man, they're way more complicated than how they were in college. And you're putting this guy in the middle of the field where quarterbacks, more experienced quarterbacks, are going to be licking their chops like, we're going to attack the middle of the field, man. We're going to really test this guy. And he was tested. And it wasn't pretty at times, but you know what? I really liked his play at points this year. Like, you see the athleticism. I think he's going to develop into being very good. So I'll go with an above average grade. But yeah, it was a rough year for him. He was pretty solid though. Like in run defense, outside of a few missed tackles, but I think he's definitely going to be much better. Now, here's probably the worst pick in the draft. Isaiah Wilson. I had a late third round grade on this cat. Titans ended up picking him up. I don't know if he makes the roster next season, man. He had a DUI, just stupid. I don't think he can last at guard. I mean, Dennis Kelly's fine. This guy's I don't think Wilson can be better than what they have in Dennis Kelly. I was thinking maybe he does move to guard. I don't know if that happens now. Like I said, he might not be on the roster, and you kind of just squandered a 1st round pick. So yeah, this is a very poor from me. Big F. F's in the chat. And let's go to... Oh yeah, no one's gonna like this. No one's gonna like that. All right, let's talk about this. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, man. I gave this a D+. I think when I went back and did my draft class grades, I moved it up to a C. I just didn't like Clyde Edwards. I thought this guy, they could trade down and get him in the 2nd round. And if you're not new to the channel, you know I'm not high on getting running backs in the 1st round. I didn't think there was a 1st round worthy running back. So, I mean, even looking at it now, I'll probably give it an average, maybe below average. Like, they brought in Le'Veon Bell, dude, and what? You just used your 1st round pick on a guy just that'll be good in your running back by committee? I don't know. I think he's gonna be better than that. I wouldn't look too deep into the whole Le'Veon thing. It's only a 1-year deal with Le'Veon, I believe. I'm not positive, but yeah. I think I don't love it. Really, I think really to evaluate this effectively, we're gonna have to see how he is utilized moving forward. Yeah, we'll see, man. I didn't love it. I think that's it too, by the way. Sick, man. Nice. So that was kind of fun, right? Going back over some of that stuff. Here, I'm just gonna take that off because I know people would just be ticked off looking at that big D+. But man, yeah, it's running backs, dude. And like this guy isn't a caliber of the top 3 in this class, you know, in my opinion. So take it as you want. But yeah, that's it for the video. Let me know if you want to see my go back and I guess regrade my whole draft class video in the comment section below. Maybe we'll go and do that, but we'll have Senior Bowl stuff on the way this week. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.